What's up, YouTube? This is Joe the 50 something Dasher, recapping my activities for Wednesday, July 30th, 2025. And today ended up being a split shift, not by design, but that's how it ended up going. And I did not make goal today, and a lot of downtime, and we'll get to it here. The first offer came before I was even awake and logged into anything, so I was woken up from a dead sleep at 2:41 in the morning for this $10 deliver that order for tomorrow. I don't know why the system couldn't have waited to send this out until a decent time, 8 or 9 in the morning, but or even 24 hours in advance. Send this to me at 1 in the afternoon. So I don't know. It decline. So then, okay, I start my dash at 6 o'clock. Start off with a couple declines here, upside down sheets and a little $3 McDonald's. Okay, and then I go ahead and take this. It's not great, but it's staying in zone. Um, 7.8 mile. This ended up going to the previous W2 that I just quit and posted the earlier video on. So how crazy is that? First order of the day goes there. Took me 27 minutes to make the 750. So that that was kind of bad. 250 and a $5 tip. Then an end zone Jolly Pirate. Wow. So I went ahead and took this, and this just took 14 minutes for $5. 2 and 3. Okay. Uh, Upside down Chick-fil-A decline. 550 6 mile Starbucks decline. This was bad. $14. I got to shop 14 things at Target and do a Panera. I mean, this could have taken start to finish. It was like easily over a half hour, maybe even like 45 minutes to an hour. And I would only got $14, so decline. Have to wait about 16 minutes, and I get this McDonald's. And I didn't really make good time on that. 28 minutes. Not sure what the holdup was there. $2 and a 5.50 tip. Okay. This was the decline. $14. Got to shop 15 things going out, east. $5 3.5 mile Taco Bell decline. Here we go. 2 minutes later, 23.50 Meyer. Only got to shop 8 items, 10 miles. Absolutely. So I don't. Was there any? I don't think there was any substitutions here. Most of this. So the wipes was in the baby section, of course. And but like. Well, no, I'm thinking of a different order. So no, this order was in several different places. Um, had it shopped in just 8 minutes and delivered at 9:09. So that's 32 minutes, 23.50. So this was my best order of the morning. $9 and 14.50 tip. And then all these Ubers, I'm just going to show the screenshots. For the most part, I'm just going to, and then click out of them. I'm getting kind of frustrated with Uber right now. I'm getting close to the point where I just don't want to even turn it on anymore. Because it's just, you'll see there, it's just like mediocre to bad orders. So there's the first one. Okay. There's just like one or two of these that I'll say something about. There we go, right there. See, even my dog Chewbacca doesn't like these. You can hear him in the background. He doesn't like these Uber orders. 550 1 mile Walgreens. I'll go ahead and do it. There's the items. And 2 minute shop. So how long? So this took me. What is this? 17 minutes to make the $5. It's about what it should have taken. This is delivered down the street to a bank. Easy. Okay, then it was after this that I had a long gap here, like over 2 hours, 2.5 hours, whatever it was. Well, okay, first, like right away, I get a decline. You know, I'm not going to downtown Columbus for $7. So there we go, 9:44. A minute later, this really bad Dollar General and Chick-fil-A stack. It is going to the same customer, but it's still upside down. Uber decline, mediocre, mediocre, decline. See, they're all about the same. Little $3 one. This one I thought was kind of interesting. I took a screenshot even though it wasn't exclusive, but I'm assuming this picks up from a person, like a person wanting to have a package mailed. I'm guessing. I don't know, but I'm guessing that's why it doesn't have a business listed, and this must be like what the customer is rated. If I just had to guess. But I didn't take that. So it looks like, if I'm understanding correctly, it would have took me 4 miles to get to the pickup and then an additional 8 to the drop off. So $12, or I'm sorry, 12 miles, $6. And of course a decline. And then look at the time here, 11:03. So I came when you saw those decline, that whole like 10 o'clock hour, whatever it was, 9:30 to like 11. I was home for most of that time, and I just wasn't getting anything on DoorDash, and I kept going back to my home screen, coming back. Another thing I'll do is I'll shut down the app and bring it back up. I still wasn't getting orders, even though it kept saying like 1 to 2 minute wait. I wasn't getting anything. This has been a while ago, like a year, maybe a year and a half ago. I saw another gig tuber. In one of his videos, he talked about that you could get on a chat with DoorDash support, and sometimes your account gets like frozen accidentally during a dash, like a glitchy thing where you just kind of get hung up in the system. And if you chat with an agent, they can, just really quickly get you unstuck and start getting orders again. So it's kind of funny. While I was sitting here, I got on a chat, or tried to, and I typed in agent, and it said, well, first, before we get to an agent, we need to know what it's about. So I said, waiting on orders. And the automated system basically just said, well, if you're in an area that's showing slow, move to an area that's busy. And if you're in an area that's busy and you're not getting an order, give it a minute or two. Well, thanks a lot. That really helps. Thank you. I'm in an area that's busy and I've been waiting more than a minute or two. I'm not getting anything. And I didn't feel like messing with it even further to try to get an agent. I didn't feel like messing with it. My wife went into work later today, like at 1 o'clock. So I was just kind of hanging out with her. And also, my daughter had posted some content on social media last night. So we were in here kind of like watching my daughter's content. Now I fixed something to eat for lunch. And so it was just kind of like a time period where it didn't really bother me that I wasn't getting anything. I was doing other stuff. But now we're past 11 here, and I need to quit messing around here and get back to work, okay? So finally, I just logged off of the Dash. I just went, my little other tricks weren't working, so I just went ahead and logged completely out and then shut the app down again. And so here's the first Dash. Look at that. 3 hours of downtime. 5 deliveries completed, $49. But $49 and 2 active hours, I mean, that's where I want to be. And then, like I said, I started a new Dash. Then I got this. Of course, I was still waiting on orders. And I got this order, and this looked kind of intriguing, but I didn't calculate the total mileage here, but we're probably talking like over 50 miles, I'm guessing, for the $39. So I was kind of tempted to take this, and it was only like a $200 and some order. So I was tempted, but you see here, I'm right here, and I got to go. I don't know, it's probably like 13, 14 miles north, and then, 25 miles or whatever to the west. I think that was actually delivering to London, if I'm not mistaken. I was tempted because I hadn't done any orders for a couple hours, but I declined it. And then finally I get something. $825 general, 6 items. This Febreze was kind of tricky. The customer didn't have any substitutions. They had to be messaged. I had to wait a minute or two, and but still, it took 12 minutes. It is what it is. I had to substitute the trash bags too. So this took a half hour, and I made $8. Not good. $3 tip on that. $13, 30 items. I took this only because I took a look at the list, and right there, 10 of the 30 items was Roma tomatoes. So this is only about 20, or might even been less, like 17 or 18 things to shop for. So that's why I took it. And I'm only putting 2.5 miles on the car. So, okay, 1146. And then I was inside the Aldi's, and they added on another order, just 2 items for $10, additional 6 miles. So I went ahead and took this too. So now you're talking $23. Okay. And then 2 minutes later, an item added. Now that was an item to this add-on. So now that's 3 items. Okay. And so I got to the store at about 12:07. Okay. And then finished shopping the original order at 12:14, and then I took a screenshot of the 3 items for the add-on. Okay, and then it just took 3 minutes to shop that. So it didn't take me long at all on this shopping. Then they tried to stack a a minimum $2 Applebee's, not doing it. Okay. Um, Delivered and I think I got that order as I was dropping off the first order. Okay. And now I'm going to drop off the add-on. And this was kind of interesting. I got a phone call from that customer. I was pretty close to the drop off. I get a phone call and he says, "Yeah, this is so and so. I think you dropped off the wrong order. There's a Dollar General at my door. It was supposed to be Aldi's." And I said, "Well, that wasn't me because I've just been working on a double Aldi's order." So and he's like, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, that must have been another order. Sorry, sorry to bother you, yada yada." Okay, and then a couple minutes later, I dropped that off. So all total, and you see they added a quarter because of that um, add-on. So it took a little over an hour. So that was 23.25 for an hour. So works for me. Then right away I get this 12.50 5 mile Meyer, 15 items. It's only 5 miles. So I took this one too. Um, this is the one I was thinking of where a lot of so you had the produce, and then they had like a couple different pastas and pasta sauces. Like 5 of the items was in one aisle. So this was pretty easy. It took me 15 minutes to shop 15 items, and delivered at 129. So this I didn't do good on this one. 40 minutes. Wow. 7.50 and a $5 tip. I guess this is a bad day, guys. 12.50, 10 mile Meyer, 10 item decline. Here we go, $5 2 mile McDonald's. I took it. This took me 10 minutes. Boom, done. 2 and 3. $4 Wendy's decline. Upside down McDonald's decline. Look at this. This might be the lowest paying Meijer standalone Meijer shopping order that I've ever. $3.75, and I just had to see what the one item was. Some slider rolls. Okay. No, decline. Another one item shop. $14, 14 miles. Going to west of downtown, not interested. That was kitty litter. Minute later, I took this 21.50, 15 miles. Okay. So here's the list. 2 of the items was from the deli counter, but they had one already pre-packaged and cut. I just had to, and I didn't have to wait very long. I just had to have the associate cut the cheddar cheese. So this was just 11 minutes, even with that wait at the deli counter. And then I get on I start leaving the store, and I kind of look at my upcoming directions, where I was going, and it said to get on the outer belt and go to the exit for 33. And I'm like, 33? That's way out there. What the heck? I don't usually go out that far. And I pull up this original screenshot again, and I look at it, and I'm like, well, yeah, I guess so. I guess that house position does look like it's east of Obet's and even east of Groveport. I guess I didn't pay real close attention when I took it, But it went clear out to, Reichert Ford territory. And so delivered at 2:58. So 43 minutes for $21. That's not bad, but the problem is I'm clear out in the Far East. There you see a $3 tip on that. So you see here, it's 3 o'clock. I'm only scheduled until 4. By the time I get back to zone, I might only be able to do one order. Why don't if it prompts me, let's just stay out where I'm at and do an order or two out there. Let's do that. So, okay, so it did prompt me. It said it was busy for the next half hour. So I was like, okay, so I went ahead and switched zones to South Columbus. And I got a couple offers here, but I declined them. $7.50, Dollar General. Got to shop 16 items, decline. Would somebody care to comment on my video and explain this screenshot to me, please? Okay. Right here, circle on the top left, that's me. I haven't left anywhere. I delivered a Meijer order to the Far East side to a customer, and I'm still sitting on that street. Okay, so that's me. I'm just sitting there waiting for an order, and I'm just curious. I'm scrolling through, looking at the hotspots. What does this say right here? Meijer. What does this say right below? I kind of cut it off a little bit, but what does that say? 5.6 miles away. That's this right here, the other circle. Can anybody explain to me why the Meijer order was given to a driver that's 2,000 miles in the other direction, west, and when there's a Meijer that's on DoorDash that's just 5 miles away from that customer? This is what I'm talking about with routing. I don't understand. I don't get it. See, I already knew that there was Meijers, around the whole area, and Meijers out on the east side and everything. I knew that, and I get that. But for all I knew, that they weren't on DoorDash. I don't know. All the Starbucks locations in my zone, they were not on DoorDash when I first got on. They had it turned off, and the closest one was West Side. And then later, it's been several months ago, but they turned it on, and now the Starbucks here does DoorDash orders. Right here, I don't think you can be a hotspot unless you got it turned on, can you? So, what's the deal? 5 miles away from that customer, why didn't it come from there? I was talking about this with my wife. We were kind of throwing around a couple theories. I don't know, but one possible theory was out of this area, this central Ohio region. Maybe possibly I was one of the top rated shoppers with the most shopping orders delivered and the highest rating or whatever. So they go to send it to a store that I'm near first to see if I'll take it before it goes there. That's a possibility. Is it possible that most of the dashers that were on in that zone maybe had shopping orders turned off? Theory number C, the order started out at that location and got passed around to several drivers, and everybody kept declining it. So they sent it to my store and other dashers. Could that be the possibility? I don't know. But I don't know, guys. It doesn't make any sense. you know, and I've talked about these, the so many Meyer orders that I do that go to downtown and north of downtown. They do all these ones out east when there's a Meyer out there. And the long distance Jolly Pirates, you know, I don't know. And then, you know, just $5, 6 Mile Dairy Queen, not interested. I don't know. Maybe I should have taken that because it is starting to go west. You know, kind of towards Lockbourne, the customer, and then I could have just gone home from there. I don't know. Maybe I should have taken that. 6 minutes later, $3 Aldi's, not doing that. And then I just started. I waited a few more minutes, and then just started heading home. And then I didn't get anything else. But there's the second dash. Only an hour of downtime in that second dash. 6 deliveries, $70.50. So all total for the day, it was 11 deliveries for $119.50. You know, not very good. I drove 103 miles. A lot of that was that last order. You know, that was like, gosh, that was like 30 miles on my car just with that order, practically. 42% acceptance rate, now at 4,439 lifetime deliveries. That's my count. DoorDash has me at 4,461 on their inflated count. And folks, I'm tired. That's all I have for today. Thanks so much for watching. As always, be sure to drive safe out there. We'll catch you at the next video. And one last thing, so Easter egg here at the end of this video, I did start the process to start memberships on this channel. So with the first video I posted today was how I quit the W-2. I'm now going to be doing gig work 7 days a week. There may be times like today where I have 2 videos. And so in those situations, I'd like to pick one that I make public, and then the other one have like a members only video. So if that had already been set up, then this video right here would have been for members only. But anyway, I started the process to you know, set up the memberships, and we'll go from there. And you know, like I said, going forward, any days where I end up recording for whatever 2 videos, then I'll do one of them like just for members. And but anyway, that's all I have for now, guys. Thanks again for watching. Take care.